Hi everyone, it's Elana from Cloth Nappy Workshops Melbourne. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So this video is part of a series of frequently asked questions. So some of those questions I get asked in my workshops and I figure, well, let's just cover it in a bunch of YouTube videos so that it's always there should people want some help. So tonight, the frequently asked question is, do you need to own a dryer to be able to do cloth nappies? And this might be particularly relevant to those who live in a cold climate. And I'm based in Melbourne, and it does get pretty wintry here, where line drying outside is not an option for some parts of the year. So I totally get it. So yes, do you need to own a dryer to be able to do cloth nappies? And I can suggest that it depends. So it depends on your household circumstances. So for those of us that live in apartments where space is perhaps at a premium, indoor space that is, then you might want to have a dryer. It could be that it's just not practical to have multiple loads of washing hanging on air dryers inside, or that you just might like to have the option to speed up the drying process so that you are not always staring at nappies on a clothes horse. It could also be that depending on your household and the age of your house, some houses are not great at expelling any humidity, or that are just not generally warm inside. So not everyone has access to ducted heating or a fireplace or a heating system. So if your house is generally quite cold in winter, that could mean your drying indoors could be a little bit tricky. But for those of you that have heating in your house, or warm spots or warm places near windows where you do get some sunshine through them, or that you do have the space to dedicate to having some drying racks pretty much always up, which I always have a drying rack permanently up in my house. It's just a thing. There's always something to wash. There's something always needing to be dried. So I just dedicate part of our lounge for that. So yes, if you have space indoors, then you may not actually need a dryer. You may still want a dryer as a plan B. So things do happen from time to time. We do have busy lives. We've got young children. But it's not a must. You don't always have to have a dryer, just factoring in the type of house or apartment you're living in. And then, of course, when the weather gets nice, there is something oddly satisfying about having a same-day turnaround for your laundry. So it is nice to bung them outside and have everything super crisp and dry very quickly. In terms of if you are using a dryer, what components of the nappies can go in the dryer? Some brands may specify, which bits can or can't. But as a general rule, the components of the nappies that are purely just fabric are often okay. You may wonder about the elastics and whether they can go in the dryer. And I guess it just extends to what other items you've previously put in the dryer. So some people withhold putting their underwear in the dryer because it has elastics. So you may want to avoid the dryer for nappies that have elastics too. But for those components that are pretty much only fabric with no elastics, perfectly fine to go in the dryer. The covers, however, this one here has polyurethane laminate inside, which is this sort of plasticky fabric. Under high temperatures, it can struggle a bit. So you can get what's called delamination, which is where the PUL removes itself and detaches itself from any of the decorative fabrics in your nappies. And once it's delaminated, it has a higher chance of cracking. And once it cracks, it's no longer a sealed cover. You can get leaks. So some people will not put their covers in the dryer for that reason. And they do also have the elasticized components. Fortunately, though, if you are wanting to just really sort of protect the long-term viability and lifespan of your nappies, then, you know, with covers, they have either no or very little fabric that gets very wet. They don't take long to dry indoors over a back of a chair or on a clothes horse. So emitting them from the dryer shouldn't cause you too much grief. So and having the fabric components in the dryer can help speed up the drying process. All right, I hope that was helpful for you. Please stay tuned for my upcoming videos. Okay.